Good morning, children. You are welcome to SS class. Today, let us continue our SS class chapter 12, lesson 12. The national movement, second phase. The national movement, second phase. You can take the textbook and follow the classes. Okay. Now, we are going to the second part. Already, we have the first part video is over. That we have seen that was the important role of Mahatma Gandhi, Jallian Walla and Munde reforms. All this is already finished. And Khilafat movement and also non-cooperation movement. Today let us study non-cooperation to civil disobedience in year 1922 and 23. 1922 and 30. This year we have to study non-cooperation to civil disobedience. Civil disobedience we have to study today. Okay, and following things there are many incidents we can see, or events we can see these lessons. Congress got divided. Congress got divided into two groups after the withdrawal of the non-cooperation movement. Non-cooperation movement, that you know, that the non-cooperation movement. After that, it is divided into two groups. Then C.R. Das, Motilal Nehru and Vallabhbhai Patel wanted to end the boycott of legislative councils. They want to boycott the legislative councils. C.R. Das, Motilal Nehru and Vallabhbhai Patel. All these members, they have to boycott they boycotted the legislative councils. These leaders felt that it is the Congress continued to boycott the elections. They also continue the boycott the elections also. People who were loyal to the British would get the elected, and then government would have to absolute power to do anything it wanted. The British government has the power. The persons are elected, they have no complete power. Just guiding by under the elections are going, but the government is the real government. The guidance are giving from British government. So they against this group, against this elections. They wanted the Congress to take part in the elections, join the government, and then work to distort the working of the legislative from inside. They want to join the government. That's why they are fighting. The Congress to take part in the elections. Join the government, and then work to distort the legislative from inside. To these two changes wanted to enter the legislative and then make it impossible for the government to function by opposing all the policies. The government is opposing their policies. The second group, there are two groups I said. The second group called non-changes, opposed to join the councils. They opposed join the councils. This group wanted to undertake a constructive program. This group was led by the Vallabhbhai Patel, R. Rajagopalachari and Rajendra Prasad. These three persons are going to other group, and one group is C.R. Das, Motilal Nehru and Vallabhbhai Patel. And other group is going on Vallabhbhai Patel, C. Rajagopalachari and Rajendra Prasad. There are now it is divided into groups there. In 1923, Khilafat Swaraj Party. It is a Khilafat Swaraj Party. In 1923, pro-changes formed the Congress Khilafat Swaraj Party in 1923. This other group is coming. The Congress, properly known as the Swaraj Party. They are known as the Swaraj Party. You have to study also under what is the Swaraj Party, the functions of the Swaraj Party. Also, we have to Purna Swaraj. What is the Purna Swaraj or Purna Swaraj resolutions? Very important this one. We have to study this. This group is properly known as the Swaraj Party. The new party was to function allowed to Swarajist to contest the elections. The Congress allowed Swarajist to contest the elections. The Swaraj Party contested the elections and won some seats in the legislative. They won legislative elections. By opposing every British move, they made extremely difficult for the British to get their own policies and proposals approved in the legislative. These are the Purna Swaraj resolutions. Gandhiji was arrested and sent to jail, and after Gandhiji was arrested in jail after the withdrawal of the non-cooperation movement, he was released in February 1927. So he released from jail. After his release, the Congress resumed constructive program. Some issues they were focused upon the said 2 points: the removal of untouchability, then promotion of the Hindu-Muslim unity, and spread of Khadi movement, Khadi to prepare the dresses. Khadi also spread. These are they focused 3 features. Now let us study. Swaraj. You have important to give Swaraj resolution, or what is the Swaraj, Purna Swaraj. We have to study Purna Swaraj. In 1923, there was a pro-changes formed the Congress, Khilafat Swaraj Party, popularly known as the group Swaraj Party. The new party was to function as a group within the Congress. The Congress allowed the Swarajists to contest the elections. They allowed these parties for the elections. Some Swaraj contest the elections, and this won some seats in that time. And by opposing every British move, they made it extremely difficult for the British to their policies and purposes approved by the legislative. And also the 3-4 features are there: the removal of untouchability and mood, promotion Hindu-Muslim unity, and spread the Khadi. Now let us go to the mobilization of the peasants. Peasants actively participated in non-cooperation movement. Peasants, the farmers, they participated in the non-cooperation movements. Kisan Sabhas fought against the British and their agencies in India. Samandas. Okay. Afterwards, also mobilization of the peasants were strategy actively pursued the Congress. Nationalist leaders hoped to solve problems faced by the peasants. In 1928, Vallabhbhai Patel organized the Bardoli Satyagraha, and to protest the increase in the taxes that the peasants had to pay. Gandhiji was also closely associated with the cause of peasants. They against the tax. Gandhiji also started with the mobilization of the peasants. Where there is a peasants, the Gandhiji and Patel, they are together. They are working for the good purpose of the peasants. And also the no violence, and they have started the Satyagraha, protest against the increase of the tax. Now let us go to it is very important. Next point, we have very important revolutionary movement in the second phase. Now we have to study revolutionary movement second phase. So now some changes are coming. The new group of revolutionaries emerged after the withdrawal of the non-cooperation movement. After this, some group are divided into from non-cooperation movement. In 1924, the revolutionary leaders formed Hindustan Republic Association. Another group they formed, Hindustan Republican Association, or HRA. They start. Its objective was to overthrow the British through an armed revolution. In 1925, a group of revolutionaries stopped a train. They stopped a train at Kakure in Uttar Pradesh and took away some money. Took away some government money. They took the money and gave this money. They was used for the revolution activities. This is a very one important point. What is the revolutionary movement? The second phase is the revolutionary movement. Discuss about that revolutionary movement. First point is a new group. Revolutionaries emerged after the withdrawal of the non-national movement. They started another group in 1924. Revolutionary leaders formed Hindustan Republican Association. Hindustan Republican Association, they start HRA. Its objective was to overthrow the British through an armed revolution. In 1925, a group of revolutionaries, they stopped the train at Uttar Pradesh and took away some government money and used that money for their activities, their revolutionary activities. Similar incidents continue through this period. This is a other group. They are picketing the train and taking the money or sending strikes also they are doing. The oppression of the British failed to stop the revolutionaries. They failed. The British government failed to stop the revolutionary activities. In 1928, they assassinated a British police officer named Saunders. In 1928, they assassinated, they killed a British officer also. He was considered responsible for the lathi charge on the peaceful demonstration at the Lala Lajpat Rai, during which the Lalaji received the fatal injuries and later succumbed to them. It was because it was one Jallian Balabag, the massacre. That after that they are looking this person. They killed this person. One police officer, he killed so many people in the Jallian Balabag massacre. So they revolutionists killed or assassinated the British police officer. This is a very important point in Indian British history. Lala Lajpat Rai, during which Lalaji received fatal injuries and succumbed to them. In the same year, the name of the Hindustan Republican Association changed name. They changed the Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. Now, after 1 year, they changed their name. They became the Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. HSRA. Like that, the word socialist was added. They are added the one word as socialist also. Now, let us go to the point. In other revolutions, other word, on 8 April 1928, Bhagat Singh and Bhuteshwar Dutt threw a bomb in the Central Legislative Assembly. Protest against the Public Safety Bill and the arrest on 31 laborers. For this, they sent the bomb. They throw a bomb in the Central Legislative Assembly to protest against the public safety of the bill and they are arrested some people 35 labor leaders. So to get these people, so they want to protest the leaders, protest the assembly. The Bengal, afterwards they made sure that the bomb was harmless and no one was injured. After throwing the bomb and shouting anti-British slogans, both of them surrendered. And after this, these persons they imprisoned. Bengal was the top in revolutionary activities. Bengal, there was that is place. Bengal was the top in revolutionary activities. Young men targeted unpopular police officers and magistrates. In 1930, 3 young revolutionaries, Binoy Bose, Badal Gupta and Dinesh Gupta, 3 persons, which are there in 1930, 3 young revolutionaries. Binoy Bose, Bandel Gupta and Dinesh Gupta killed the Inspector General of the prisons. Among the revolutionists of Bengal, the most famous was the Surya Sen. Surya Sen was the most important person. He organized the Indian Republic Army, IRA. Okay, he organized the Indian Republic Army. They organized one group. On 18 April 1930, he along with some other revolutionists attacked and occupied the police armory at Chittagong to get arms for use against the British. He was later arrested and subsequently hanged. And after they hanged these persons also. He was a very good person. He was gathering to one group of the people against the British government. He was also arrested and hanged. So it's important. In 1930, three young revolutionists, Binoy Bose, Bandel Gupta and Dinesh, killed the Inspector General in prison. Okay, that is why among then after there was raising the other group also. The revolutionary movements, they acted as the messengers, gave shelter to the revolutionaries and sometimes attacked the British officers. Prithvilag and Beder became the martyr in the struggle to free the country. There are many persons died to get the freedom of India. The many killed by the British officers and soldiers. The strict steps taken by the British administration against the revolutionaries weakened the revolutionary activities. Bhagat Singh, Rajaguru and Sukhdev were hanged on 23 March 1931, and also other important persons, those who are hard working for the slavery, hard working for the British India, hard working for the independence of India, they are killed. They are killing them by British government. The strict steps taken by the British administration against the revolutionaries weakened the revolution's activities. Bhagat Singh and Rajaguru and Sukhdev were hanged on 23 March 1931. Chandrasekhar Azad also died fighting the British at Allahabad. Now the other person also, Chandrasekhar also died also fighting for the British Allahabad. The entire nation mourned the death of these brave revolutionary nationalists. All these four persons, very important persons, they worked for the India, but they killed them. Then after we had to see the Simon Commission, 1927. Now we have reached the revolutionary movement. The second phase, they are killing. Some people are hanged and imprisoned and killed for the sake of India. Now let us study the Simon Commission, 1927. Simon Commission in 1927. The government appointed a commission to look at the Working for the Government of India Act 1919 and suggest further administrative reforms. This commission was called Simon Commission after its chairman, Sri John Simon. So the person's name is coming for the Simon is the one person, commissioner after Simon Commission after the chairman, Sir John Simon. The Indians were extremely disappointed the commission. This was because all the members of the commission were Englishmen. Because all members were the Englishmen. The government, second point, the government refused to accept the demand of the self-government. The British government absolutely did not accept the demand of the self-government, means our Indian legislative. The Congress decided to boycott the commission. The Congress decided to boycott the commission. When it arrived in India, the 4th February 1928, it was greeted by the All Indian Party. Slogans of the Simon go back. Or I said Simon go back. They rejected this commission. Now Purna Swaraj resolution we have to study. The Purna Swaraj resolution. Purna Swaraj is important. It is annual session of 1928. The Congress passed the resolution demanding the dominant status, that is government by the Indians. It was a little less than the complete independence. It was the little less than there is no complete independence. The one date also it was also declared a dominant status. It was not given within a year. The Congress would settle for nothing less than the complete independence. In December 1929, the Congress held its annual session at Lahore. Jawaharlal Nehru was the president of this session. In it, the Congress declared Purna Swaraj, the complete independence they declared, and it is ultimate goal. He asked the congressmen and nationalists to resign from the legislative and not to participate in the forthcoming elections. For it was decided that 26th January would henceforth observe the Independence Day. Every year they declared that, and we can decide 26th January Independence Day every year. To achieve its demand, the Congress decided to start another mass movement. Okay? But this is just before the independence. We got the independence in 1947, but before that they started the Independence Day, January 26th. 1929 they are all together, gathered together for this date also. The Congress held its annual session Lahore. The president of that time, Jawaharlal Nehru, was the president of this session, and the Congress declared the Purna Swaraj, complete independence. It was the ultimate goal. It was asked the Congress and National to resign from the legislative and do not participate in the forthcoming elections, because if they go to the elections, it was under the British rule. But the Purna Swaraj, they want to their own elections, so they said don't go to that elections. It was the Purna Swaraj resolution we have to study. Purna Swaraj. Now we have to study that the civil disobedience movement. 1930 and 1934. This is 4 years the other movement. Disobedience movement. Obedience, no, they are not obedience. Disobedience. First one we had to study Dante March. First one we had to study, very important, is a Dante March. Okay. Gandhi always thought the innovative methods to oppose government. This time he decided to break the salt law. Salt, we are using every day salt. That time they had to give the tax. So he was against this law. So he started opposing this. This time he decided to break the salt law. The government had monopoly on the manufacture, the sale of salt. Only government can manufacture the sale of salt. People had to buy salt from the government. People can no permission to other people. The people to buy, they had to buy salt from the government. So this was issue which touched the life of every Indian. The Mahatma Gandhi thinking that if it touched like this point, they can. Some people are joined with them. So he started this for the salt law again. On 12th March 1930, very important date, it was on 12th March 1930, Gandhi along with 78 followers. 70, how many are there? 78 members. 72 followers, Gandhi was 78 members in March 12th March 1930. Okay, we are doing more than 1930. 12th March Gandhiji plus 78 members, they left the Sabarmati Ashram at Ahmedabad and travelled towards the Dandi. There was a sea, Dandi, the seas there. Dandi, a village on the west coast of India. After walking for 25 days and covering a distance 385 kilometers. How many days they serve? 25 days. Continued to traveling, going. They are bus, but they are they are walking 25 days they walk and reach there. How much kilometers there? 385 kilometers they passed. The group reached Dandi. They reached the Dandi. Here Gandhiji broke the law. Gandhiji broke the law by making salt. He made the salt. No? Here Gandhiji broke the law by making salt. He collected the natural salt lying on the seashore and boiled. What he said? He take the water from the seashore and he boiled water there and prepared salt. All together, 78 members are there. They collected water and prepared the seashore and he boiled it and make it a salt. By breaking the law, he threw a challenge of the British government. It was a challenge of British government. With this, they are not only Gandhiji alone, but there are some members are there. 78 members they gathered together. They went to Dandi. How many kilometers? After 25 days after walking there, they reached there and near the seashore. What they did? They boiled make salt. They prepared the salt and breaking the law of the salt law of the government. This soon became the symbol of people's opposition to the government. The people's opposition to the government. In Tamil Nadu, Rajagopalachari led the similar march from the Tiruchirappalli and Vedanarayan. In Gujarat, Sarojini Naidu. At different places they have some different leaders guided. In Tamil Nadu, Rajagopalachari and also Gujarat, Sarojini Naidu, they guided the same march. Lack of people, which included the large number of the women, participated in this protest. That also, lots of people also followed them and the different parts of the India. The civil disobedience movement carried forward this is the disobedience. May you understand that? This is the civil disobedience movement. They did not obey the British government. They disobeyed the movement. Civil disobedience movement carried forward the unfinished work of the non-cooperation movement. There lot of work they have done, unlimited lot of work they have done. No? The whole country became involved in it. Has made the life come the standstill. There was a large-scale boycott of schools, colleges, and also offices. The foreign goods and bonfire. There are other works also. They marched picketing in the schools, colleges, and also foreign goods things also. And people stopped paying taxes. They had more taxes to give. And also people stopped taxes. They faced the lathis and bullets of the police with the supreme courage. Not only their police are giving punishment and they are killing and lathis and also giving somebody is put to the prison, but they were strength to give more. Even they are doing more struggling, but the people are giving strength. No one struck back. The movement was totally non-violent. They are not killing anybody, but it was a fully non-violent. The movement was totally non-violent. As reports, the photographs of the extraordinary protests began to appear in the newspapers across the world. This is not all the world also. It was published in newspapers also. So these are the disobedient march, disobedient walk of the movement of the Congress, the movement of the civil disobedience movement. We have listed the Dandi traveling, Dandi march in 1930. Now let us afterwards they have there are two table conferences are there. In 1930 and 1931 there are two first round table conferences and second round table conference. One is first is going on 1931 and second table 32. The first round table conference held on London in November 1913 to solve the constitutional problems of India. The Congress boycotted it. The Congress did not, they boycotted. Only the Muslim League, the Hindu Mahasabha and the representatives of the Indian princes participated. Without the participation of the Congress, no decision on the constitutional changes could be taken. Thus, the conference gave no result. It was only one part only they took. So, it was no result. Then second round table conference in 1931. Attend the second round table conference, Gandhiji went to London on September 1931. Gandhiji went to London. The British government had also invited representatives from the organizations connected with the Muslim, Sikh, Christians and the Indian princes. There are also different representatives from all for this. Most of these people claim to represent only for their representative communities. Only Gandhiji represented the whole country. Gandhiji was the representative of the whole nation of India, and others some of the religious representative. The government refused to accept the demands put up by Gandhiji, and the conference ended the failure. The government refused to accept the demand put up by Gandhiji's demands. They did not receive. Like that, the conference ended as failure. Both conference table round conferences are failed. Resumption of the movement. The Congress continued civil disobedience movement after Gandhi returned to the barren hand. The government repression identified. Lakhs of people were put in jail. All major leaders including Gandhiji were arrested. Without strong leadership, the struggle lost in focus. In May 1934, the Congress withdrew the movement. Now, let us conclude here. Thank you very much for your attention.